सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। मस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति भागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम्। न वेदश्रुतेः अस्तितो गौण्यसम्भवात् शब्दाच्च स्याच्च एकस्य ब्रह्मशब्दवत् प्रतिज्ञा अहानिः अव्यतिरेकात् शब्देभ्यः। थोड़ी लाइट जब जरा आएगी तो अंधर लागे थोड़ा। नव्यत् अश्रुतेः न खलु आकाशम उत्पद्यते न वियत् न खलु आकाशम उत्पद्यते। The space is not created, is uncreated. Kutah kasmat ashrutehe, because there is no shruti statement describing the creation of space. This is the position of what we call the Ekadeshi, whose intention is to establish that there is no discrepancy, no internal contradiction between the different statements of Shruti. So basically, we find these two statements, one in the Chhandogya Upanishad, where it is said Tat Teja Asujata. Chhandogya Upanishad mentions the creation of three elements, the fire, water and earth. Whereas Taittiriya Upanishad mentions the creation of five elements, Tasmadva Etasmad Atmana Akasha Sambhutah Akashad Vayuhu Vayuhu Agnihi. So apparently these two Shrutis say things differently. One says space is created, other says space is not created. One says the space is first, other says fire is first, etc. If there is a contradiction between the two statements of Shruti, then it no more remains a pramanam. It cannot be independable because there is a contradiction. Therefore, to show that there is no contradiction, the Ekadeshi says that there is only one statement, Chhandogya Shruti is the primary Shruti, talking about the creation of three elements. And there is no Shruti talking about creation of space, so he says. So objection, astitu. But there is a Shruti which says, Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutah. From Atma, there is Brahman, Akasha was born. So there is a Shruti. How do you say there is no Shruti talking about the creation of space? Then again Ekadeshi says, Gauni asambhavad. The Shruti of Taittiriya Upanishad, which talks about the creation of space, is Gauni, is in a secondary sense, not in a primary sense. Meaning that even though Taittiriya Upanishad does talk about the creation of space, that statement is not to be taken in a primary sense. It is as though created, not really created. Why? Asambhavat, because the necessary conditions required for creation of space are not there. What is asambhava? First of all, for creation of anything, you require three causes. Samvaya karanam, asamvaya karanam, nimitta karanam. Just as for creation of a cloth, you require samvaya karanam, which is the yarn and the thread. And what's the nature of samvaya karanam? It must be the same class, there must be many threads. Not one thread, but there must be many threads of the same class and many in number. And this sanyoga, the association between them should be possible. Then alone the cloth can be made. In a loom, in a power loom or any hand loom, you can make the cloth, provided there are number of threads and sanyoga. So that sanyoga, that joining or union between different threads is also a necessary cause. Number of threads may be there, but if threads cannot be united, then you cannot create a cloth. And therefore, that sanyoga also in this case is asamvaya karanam, the non-inherent cause. However, for creation of space, this kind of causes are not there. There is no samvaya karanam, there is no material cause which can create space. So this impossibility is asambhava. Because the cause is not there, effect cannot be. Second thing was, utpattimatam ta tejas pravrutinam purvottar kalayo vishesha sambhavyade prag utpatte. See, if something is created, then it should make a difference. If something is created, it should make a difference. For example, fire. When created, it should make a difference. Before the creation of fire, there is no heat, there is no light. And after the fire is created, there is light. Then you can say that fire is created. But in case of space, can you establish a difference like this? Before creation of space also, everything was accommodated. And so accommodativeness was there always. If space was created, then there must have been a situation or condition when space was not. That is called creation, that's called pragabhava. So what is the nature of space? To accommodate. That means that before the creation of space, that accommodativeness was not there. But according to the Vaisheshikas who are making the arguments, the Paramanus are there, atoms are always there, and they have to be accommodated. That being the case, space must always be there. Sthula, Sukshma, and then Anu. So first is atom, then that becomes Sukshma. Atoms combine, then they become Sthula, they become visible. At every stage, you require space to accommodate them. And third reason was given is Prithvivyadi Vaidharmyacha Vibhutvadi Lakshanat Akashasya Ajatva Siddhi Kincha Akasho Najayate Vibhutvad. We say that the space is not born Vibhutvad because it is all pervasive. Niravayava Dravyatvad. Akasha is no doubt a dravya or substance, but what kind of substance? Niravayava, partless, formless substance. Asparsh dravyatvacha is also a dravya or a substance which is no touch or associated with any other substance. So these reasons were given for not creation of space, asambhava, because the necessary causes and conditions required for creation of space, they do not exist. Therefore, space is not created. Therefore, the Shruti, which talks about the creation of space, should be understood in a secondary sense, not in a primary sense. Therefore, the Chhandogya Shruti remains the primary Shruti. And since the Taittiriya Shruti is in secondary sense, it does not contradict, and therefore the pramanyam, the validity of the Shastra remains because there is no internal contradiction. Same person is Shabdacha, and also Shabdat. Akashavat sarvagatasya nitya. Look, whenever Shruti describes Atma, it gives the illustration of Akasha. Akashavat sarvagatasya nitya. Atma is sarvagata, all pervasive, like space. So yatha anantoyam akasha evam ananta atma vejitavya. Just as akasha is ananta, boundless, infinite, so also is atma ananta. So in more than one places we find that akasha is presented as an illustration for describing atma. So akasha is all pervasive. Akasha is ananta. Akasha atma and akasha space. Akasha shariram brahma. Brahma has akasha as its shariram. All of this say that akasha is infinite, it cannot be created. Then question was asked that now tasmadva etasmat atmana akasha sambhutah. Akashat vayoho, vayoho agnihi, agnehe apaha, adbyah prithvi. But then this Ekadeshi does accept the creation of fire, water and earth. So therefore, vayoho agnihi sambhutah, agnehe apaha sambhutah, adbyah prithvi sambhuta. So there, that kriyapada, the verb sambhuta, is accepted in primary sense. Whereas it comes to Atma Akasha Sambhutah, Akasha Vayu Sambhutah. In those two cases, this verb Sambhutah is taken in secondary sense. In the same passage, you are interpreting Sambhutah was created in a secondary sense first and in primary sense later. That doesn't sound right. How can one word like Sambhuta be used in a primary sense as well as secondary sense in the same passage, in the same context? So he says, Syat ekasya, syat cha ekasya, Brahma shabdavat. So that does happen. Like Brahma also, in the same context, that word is used in a primary sense as well as in the secondary sense. Tapasa Brahma Vijñāsasva Tapo Brahmeti. The father and teacher Varuna says to Bhrigu, Tapasa Brahma Vijñāsasva Tapo Brahmeti. Vijñāsasva, when you seek to know Brahman, so tapasa, by tapas, by penance, by vichara, so that Brahman is waited, something to be known. Tapo Brahmeti. Then again, next sentence says, Tapo Brahmeti. Tapas itself is Brahman. So here, in case of Tapo Brahmeti, the word Brahman is understood in a secondary sense because tapas or penance is not Brahman. Tapasa Brahma Vijñāsasva, by penance. Penance in the form of the inquiry, form of deliberation. May you seek to know Brahman. So Brahman is to be known. That word Brahman is in primary sense. So it does happen. In the same context, Tapasa Brahma Vijñāsasva, that word Brahman is to be understood as Brahman. Tapo Brahmeti, that word Brahman is to be understood only in a secondary sense. Because tapas is a means of knowing Brahman. Therefore, it is praised as Brahman. Similarly, word Sambodha can be in the primary and secondary sense, the same passage. This is the position of the Ekadeshi, which is like Purvapaksha. So, we like what he is trying to do. His intention is good. His intention is to establish the Samanvaya. The Samanvaya means that the intention or the purport is the same. Ekavakyata. That all the statements of Shruti have the same purport. That is what his intention is, which is good, which is what we like. So is the Vedanta. But the way he is trying to do, to declare one statement of Shruti as secondary, and therefore accepting the non-creation of space and air, that we do not like. So therefore, now this is evam prapte idamaha. So when this situation arose, then the Sutrakara, the Siddhanti says this, Pratignya ahanihi. The pratignya, the proposition, is not hampered, is not affected. Avyatarekat sabdebhyah. If there is avyatareka, pratignyaya ahanihi anuparodasyat yadi avyatareka krishnasya vastujatasya vignayat brahmanasyat. That pratignya. What's the pratignya? Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avijñātam vijñātamiti. That pratignya, that proposition would be remain unaffected, would not be hampered. Yadi avyatareka syāt. Only if there is avyatareka, only when nothing stands apart from Brahman, then alone that pratignya or proposition will be validated, would stand correct, otherwise it would be affected, hampered. Vyatareke hi sati eka vijñānena saram vijñāyate iti iyam pratignya hiyata. If anything such as space stands is not created, therefore it enjoys the same reality as Brahman, it stands apart from Brahman, then by knowing Brahman, you do not know space, therefore that pratigna, by knowing one, everything as well becomes known, that pratigna would be invalidated, would be affected. Saja avyatarekah evam upapadyate yadi Krishna vastu jatam ekasmat brahmana utpadyeta. In short, that pratigna would become validated only if everything that is said in the universe is non-separate from Brahman. How can, in what sense? So, ekasmat brahmana utpadyeta. The only way that something is non-separate from other is if that something is the effect of the other, which is material cause. So, the effect never stands apart from material cause. Therefore, by knowing material cause, you know the effect. Similarly, if the Jagat was the effect of Brahman, and Brahman was the material cause of the universe, then the whole universe would be non-separate from Brahman. Then by knowing Brahman, everything would as well be known, and that pratigna would stand established. Shabdebhyah prakriti vikara avyatharika nyayana eva pratigna siddhi avagamyate. Pratigna siddhi, the establishment of that pratigna proposition, avagamyate, can be known or understood only if the relation is between the Brahma and Jagat is that between the Prakriti and Vikara, the material cause and the effect. तथा येन श्रुतम श्रुतम भवति प्रतिज्ञाय मृदाय दृष्टान्तै कार्य कारण अभेद प्रतिपादन परै एषा प्रतिज्ञा समर्थ्यते. So this pratigna samarthyate is proved or established by giving examples of clay and the parts, the material cause and the effect. So that's why Shabdebhyah. Shruti also gives examples which are of the nature of showing the non-separatedness of the effect, the material cause. Tat sadhana eva uttare shabdaha. So as we said earlier, Bhashyakara says that this whole Chhandogya Upanishad 6th chapter is only meant to prove this pratigna, eka vijnanena sarva vijnanam, that everything is known when one is known. The illustrations, yatha somya ekena mritpindena, those illustrations also were meant for that. And subsequently, tat aikshata bahusyam prajaya tat tejaha asujata, all of the description is to affirm in affirmation of this pratigna. And then aitat avyatarekam pradarshyanti aitat atmavidam sarvam, that all of this is Brahman or Sat as the Atma, meaning that nothing stands apart from Sat. Tadyadi akasham na brahma karyam syat na brahmane vijñāte akasham vijñāyeta. If Akasha was not the effect of Brahman, then by knowing Brahman, Akasha would not be known, because then Akasha would stand apart from Brahman. Tatasya pratigna hani syat. Then this pratigna would be invalidated. So somebody says, good, why not? Says, no. Nacha pratigna hanya vedasya apramanyam yuktam kartum. It is not right that by this pratigna being disproved, then Vedas would invalidate it. It's not right. Meaning that the line of argument should be such as to establish the pramanyam, validity of Veda, and not otherwise. Dustarkar suviramyata. You should stay away from dustarka. Shruti matas paksha, shruti matas paksha, samashriyata. And you must adopt the paksha or the position that the Shruti has accepted. Tathai prativedantam te te shabdaha tena tena dushtantena tama pratignyam sthapayanti. And if this pratigna was found only in one case, namely Chhandogya, then we may say that maybe it may be in a secondary sense. But we find similar pratigna found in the other Upanishads also, in Chhandogya Upanishad, in Mundaka Upanishad. So in each one of them, tena tena drishtantena tama pratignyam sthapayanti. In each case, Shruti has given illustrations in order to confirm, that pratigna. Idam sarvam yadam atma. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also says all of this is nothing but Atma. Brahmaiva idam amritam purastat. Mundaka says that what is in front is nothing but Brahman. Tasmat jvalanadivadeva gaganamapi utpadyate. Therefore, just as fire is created, so also space is created. So now we go to page 507. The 7th Sutra. Says Ratnavarva, Akasho na utpadyate samagri shunyatvad yatra akasho vikara vibhaktatvad ghatadivati sat pratipakshamaha yat punah ityadina. So the Sutrakara answers that Gauni asambhavat. That Taittiriya Shruti is Gauni in a secondary sense, asambhavat, because there are no causes because for creation of space, the adequate situation or condition does not exist. That is now taken up here. Akasha na utpadyate. This is what that Purva Paksha or Ekadeshi said. Akasha na utpadyate. Akasha is not created. Why? Samagri shunyatvat. Because there is samagri. The necessary factors required for creation do not exist. Therefore, Akasha could not be created. So that was their Anumanam. What is Siddhanti Anumanam? Ityatra Akasha Vikara Vibhaktatvat Ghatadivaditi. Akasha Vikara. We say that Akasha Vikara means Karya. We say that Akasha is in effect. Space is in effect, meaning space is created. Why? Another hetu, Vibhaktatva. A different hetu is given altogether for establishing the creation of space. What's the hetu? Vibhaktatva. Because there is separatedness, Vibhakta, separatedness. Ghata divatati. So an object such as a pot is created. Now, one way to arrive at the creation of pot is that the pot had prior non-existence. The pot had the necessary conditions existing for its creation, namely the material cause, the efficient cause, samvai, asamvai, nimitta karanam, all this was there, so pot is created. But here, so those arguments he was refuting. Here a different argument is given. What is it? Akasha, though part, is a creation, is a vikara, is an effect. Why? Because the parts stand apart from clock and parts stand apart from cloth. So when things stand apart from each other, then each of that must be created. Lokavat, because this is what we find. We know that pot is created. We know cloth is created. We know clock is created. That pot is created, cloth is created, clock is created. Now what is common to all of them? All of them, they are separate entities. Meaning that they have the attribute of being separated from other entities. Therefore, wherever separatedness is there, it must be a product. You see? In all the vikara, in all the effects, in all the products, you find this common condition that they are possessed of separatedness. And if one effect stands separate from another effect, so whatever stands separate must be an effect. In that manner, that akasha is in effect is sought to be proven. So yet punaha, so Bhashyakara is on page 507, last line on the first paragraph. Or if you look at Nyaya Nirnaya, Savadharana Advitiya Shrutehe Eka Vijnanena Sarvijnana Pratipadanacha Navasopi Brahma Karyatvam Prasivyadivat Iti Uktam. Savadharana Advitiya Shrutehe. Advitiya Shruti with Avadharanam Ekameva Dvitiyam. So what did Chhandogya say? Ekameva Dvitiyam, one without a second. The evakara, what does it do? It in fact dismisses or negates all duality. Ekam eva. That evakara negates all the duality. So it's one without the duality. So savadharana, that means that number one, Brahman must be non-dual. That is what is meant by evakara. And eka vijnana, sarva vijnana, pratipadanacha. Second thing is that by knowing Brahman, everything is as well known. So these two reasons were there. Because of which, navasopi brahma karyatvam. Therefore, the space must be the product of Brahman, prasivyadivat, like earth, etc. Because if space is not a product of Brahman, it stands apart from Brahman. In that case, the ekameva dvitiya advitiya shruti will be affected, as well as eka vijnana, sarva vijnana also will be affected. Idanim anumana virodhat akashotpatte asambhavat tadutpatti shravanam gaunadiyuktam anuvadati. Now, so this was already shown by Siddhanti. Now we are answering other points that were raised. Idanim anumana virodhat. Because their anumanam is asambhavat. The necessary causes do not exist. That being the case, that anumanam contradicts the creation. So even though the Shruti says space was created, tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sammuta, very clearly the Shruti says that the space was created. That fellow says that even though Shruti says that, because that statement of Shruti contradicts anumanam. It contradicts anumanam inference. What is anumanam? Anumanam is that something can be created only if the necessary causes exist. In case of space, necessary causes do not exist. And therefore, the Shruti cannot be taken in the primary sense. So he is dismissing Shruti on the basis of anumanam. Understand? Chidani Anumana Virodhat Akashotpade Asambhavad. Therefore, Utpatti or creation of Akasha is impossible because it contradicts this Anumana. Utpatti Shravanam Gaunam, and therefore, even though Taittiriya says that Akasha Sambhutaha should be taken in a primary sense, should be taken in the secondary sense. Iti Uktam. So that was said by the Purvapakshi or by the Ekadeshi. Anuvadati, it is reiterated. Yat Punahiti. So Bhashyakara says, Yat Punaha Etuduktam Asambhavad Gauni Gaganasya Utpatti Shruti Iti. This is Anuvada. This is the reiteration of what the Ekadashi had said. Yat Puna Etuduktam, with reference to what you are saying. Asam. So, Asambhavad Gauni Gaganasya Utpatti. Asambhavad, so Gauni Asambhavad. Because of the impossibility of the creation of space, therefore, that creates statement of the Upanishad, which talks about creation of space, should be taken in the Gauna or in the secondary sense. Iti Duktam. This is what it says. Atra Bruma. So says Nyaya Nirnaya, Anumanasya Manantara Virodhena Amanatvat Na Akashotpatti Shrutehe Gaunatva Apadana Samarthamiti Sutram Avatarayate. Anumanasya Manantara Virodhena. If this Anumanam, if your inference contradicts some other means of knowledge, if inference does not contradict our perception and what the other means of knowledge say, such as Shabda, if inference does not contradict what the Shruti says or what our experience is, then inference is a pramana. But if inference contradicts what you see, if suppose by inference I arrive at the conclusion that you could not be sitting here because last night you called me from Bombay, how can you be here? There is no time. You know the train takes so long and how could you have come? So by inference, it contradicts what I see. Then the inference cannot be pramanam. Here also, inference that necessary causes do not exist, therefore space is not created, that statement cannot be pramanam because it contradicts what the Shruti says. Therefore, na anu akashotpatti shrutehe gaunatva apadana samarthyam. Therefore, your inference, asambhavad, gauni asambhavad, does not have samarthya, does not have the strength to establish that this Taittiriya Shruti is gauni or secondary. Iti sutram udat atra iti. Bhashyakara says, atra brumaha. To that, this is what we have to say. The sutra says, yavat vikaram to vibhagaha lokavata. Yavat vikaram, wherever vikara is, vikaratatam avivyapya. Yavat vikaram, so wherever there is vikara, wherever there is effect or product, vibhaga is always separatedness. So separatedness persists wherever there is vibhaga or an effect. Vibhaga means vivaktatvam. Vibhaga means vivaktatvam, separatedness. Vibhaga means separation. But here it means vivaktatvam, separatedness. So wherever separatedness is there, it must be a vikara or an effect. So yavat vikaram vivaktatvam drishyate. So this is our experience. So therefore, your anumanam contradicts his experience. What is our experience? So wherever we find separatedness, that is where the vikara, the effect is there. And akasha stands apart from other elements. Therefore, it must be an effect. So your anumanam, that akasha could not have been created because of the lack of the necessary condition, that anumanam contradicts our experience that akasha stands apart from other elements like prithvi, etc. So it must be vikara. Lokavata. So where is the drishtanta? Lokavata. Like we find in our day-to-day experience, ghatadivata. Like ghata is a vikara or product, and ghata has separatedness. So akash has separated, therefore akash also must be product. So vibhaga means vivaktatvam is presented as a hetu. Vivaktatvad, in fact, it should be, So wherever vikara is there, there is vivaktatvam. And so akasha is a vikara, vivaktatvat. Prithvivyadibhya vivaktatvat akashasya brahmakayatum nirvivadam. Prithvivyadibhya vivaktatvat. Because space stands apart from earth, etc. Therefore, akasha also must be brahmakaryam, the effect of Brahman, nirvivadam. There cannot be any vivada, any kind of argument or debate about this, or any any quarrel about this. Aksharoktam artham kasayati. So Bhashyakara explains the meaning of this sutra. Bhashya says, Tu shabdaha asambhava ashanka vyavrityartha yavad vikaram tu. In the sutra, there is word tu. What is the purpose of the word? Asambhava ashanka vyavrityartha. For vyavrityartha, for vyavritti, for eliminating. What? Ashanka. Eliminating the ashanka or the apprehension. Asambhava ashanka. That there can be an apprehension that creation of space is impossible, that doubt is there. To remove the doubt is the word tu used here. Vyavritti prakaram abhinayati. In what way the vyavritti is there? In what way this sutra eliminates the doubt that space may not be created? So, abhinayati, Bhashyakara explains, describes that vyavritti. न खलु आकाशोत्पत्तौ असंभवाशंका कर्तव्या. So this asambhava. न खलु आकाशोत्पत्तौ, with reference to the creation of space, asambhava ashanka na kartavya. That's what tu says. Word tu. That the doubt or apprehension with reference to creation of space should not be entertained. Why? Tatra vivaktatva hetukam anumanam hetu kuran vyaptima. So now the Siddhanti presents his own anumanam. We told you the anumanam. What's the anumanam? That Prithvivyadibhya vivaktatvat akashasya brahmakaryatvam. Akasha brahmakaryam. Akasha is the effect of Brahman. What's the reason? Prithvivyadibhya vivaktatvat. Because it is separatedness, it has separatedness with reference to earth, etc. Where do you find it? Lokavata. So ghata, just as ghata, etc. are karya and they are separate. Akash is separate, therefore Akash also Karya. So this is the Anumana. So Vibhaktatvat is the Hetu. What is the proposition? That Akasha Vikara Pratigna. What's the Hetu? Vibhaktatvat. Because it is separated. Drishtanta Ghatadivat. Like Ghata etc. are separated, they are Vikara, so Akash also is Vikara. So Vibhaktatvat is Hetu. Therefore Tatra Vibhaktatva Hetukam Anumanam Hetum Vyakurvan Vyaptimaha. So Hetu Anumanam Hetum Vyakurvan. So Vibhaktatva is Hetu. In that, what is the Vyapti? What's the rule is being stated Yataha. This Bhashyakara says. So Vyapti means what? The universal rule. Universal concomitant, such that these two things always exist. Yatra yatra dhumaha, tatra tatra vannihi. Wherever the smoke is there, the fire is always there. This is a universal concomitant, meaning that universal rule. So what's the universal rule in this case? Bhashyakara. Yataha yavat kinchita vikara jatam drishyate घट घटिका उदंचनादि वा कटक केयूर कुंडलादि वा शुचि नाराज निस्त्रिंशादि वा तावान एव विभागो लोके लक्ष्यते. This is the general observation that we find. Yataha yavat kinchit vikara jatam drishyate. So whatever kind of vikara jatam, whatever kind of vikara or the effect or product that you find, lokavat in our day-to-day experience. For example, ghata ghatika udanchanadi. Like a pot, ghata, ghatika, a small little pot. Udanchana, a pitcher, or Kataka, Keyura, Kundaladi. Kataka means an armlet. Kundala, Keyura, no, Kataka means a bracelet. Keyura means an armlet. Kundala means a earring. Or Suchi, Naracha, Nistrimsha. Suchi means a needle, Naracha means an arrow. Nistrimsha means a sword, So, they're all the products of the iron. Others were product of gold, the products of clay. So, lokavat, so you must find it everywhere. Not just in case of pot, but in case of the clay and the pots, etc., the golden ornaments, and then iron and some products also. So, yavat kinchit vikara jatam drishyate. Wherever you find any vikara, where you find the product, effect, modification, tavaneva vibhago loke lakshyate. So, wherever you find there is an effect or a product or a modification, you find that separatedness is there. Even if many pots are created from clay, each pot stands apart from separate another pot. So this is a characteristic of every effect or modification, that it is characterized by separatedness. This is our observation. This is called Vyapti. This is the general rule that we find. And says Ratnaprabha, यो विभक्तः स विकारः अन्वय मुक्त्वा यस्तु अविकारः स विभक्तः यथा आत्मा यदि व्यतिरेक व्याप्तिमाह. अन्वय व्याप्ति and व्यतिरेक व्याप्ति. So what is अन्वय व्याप्ति? Wherever the modification is there, there the separatedness is there. What is not an effect is also not separate. That's the Vyatireka Vyapti. So, of course, you can't say where there is no smoke, there is no fire. But anyway, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. In that case, Vyatireka Vyapti is not there because there is no Upadhi here, But in this case, there is no Artha, etc. But there is no Upadhi here. It is unconditional. Wherever the Vikara is there, separateness is there. Therefore, where Vikara is not, separateness also is not there. So says Bhashyakara, Nato avikrutam kinchit kutaschit vibhaktam upalabhyate. Nato avikrutam kinchit kutaschit vibhaktam upalabhyate. Avikrutam. Whatever is avikrutam, whatever is not a modification. Anything that is not a modification is seen not to stand apart from anything else. Where do you see that? Atma, but that's all you can say. Whatever you see is all modification anyway. And so, says yan karyam tan vivaktam yatha atma. Yan karyam tan vivaktam. So what is not a karya, what's not an effect, also is not separate like Atma. So nothing is separate from Atma. Therefore Atma is not in effect. So wherever separated is there, it must be a modification. But as far as Atma is concerned, Atma, the word says all pervades, Apnoti iti Atma. So that which pervades everything is called Atma. And that is the case, nothing stands apart from Atma. Vyaptasya hetoho paksha dharmatam ahara. How hetu is contained in paksha. That's what is being said here. Next sentence. Vibhagascha akashasya पृथिव्यादिभ्यः अवगम्यते तस्मात् सोऽपि विकारो भवितुमर्हति. विभागस्य आकाशस्य पृथिव्यादिभ्यः अवगम्यते. And it is our experience that Akasha is an element. Space is an element, and so is air, so is fire, so is water, so is earth. If we find that the space stands apart from earth, so space's separatedness with reference to other elements. Vibhagasya akashasya prithivyaadibhya avagamyate. So what is akash? What is paksha? Paksha is akasha. What's the hetu? Vibhaktatva. So then, what you have to prove here? What is it? The vyaptasya hetu paksha dharmata. That hetu must be contained in paksha. In akasha, which is paksha, what's the hetu? Vikara. Or vivaktatvam. So vivaktatvam is there, therefore it is vikara. Just as in case of parvato vandiman, dhumatvat. So parvata is a paksha. What's the hetu? Dhumatvat. And so in paksha there is this hetu contained there. And so therefore the sadhya is also there. So sadhya is there. If the paksha contains hetu, then sadhya is there. Akasha is paksha. What is under contention? It contains hetu of vivaktatvam. Therefore sadhya vikaratvam is also there. Therefore, so says Nyan Vimatam Karyam Avidya Vitariktatve Sati Vivaktatvat Samanyavatvat Gunitvat Ghatavat iti Abhipritya. Vimatam Akasham Karyam. The Akasha, which is the object of dispute, his Karyam is an effect. That's called Pratigna. Avidya Vitariktatve Sati Vivaktatvat. being different from it, that's a condition to be added there. Avidya vitariktatve sati. Because avidya is an upadhi. So avidya vitariktatve sati, that akasha being different from avidya. In case of avidya, that does not apply. Therefore, avidya vitariktatve sati, vivaktatva. So akasha is not different from avidya, but its vivaktam is separate from everything else. Samanyavatvad, like ghata, pata, etc. Gunitvacha, because it possesses guna of shabda. So what possesses guna also stands separate from other things. And gunitvacha ghatavat. So ghata is what? Avidya vitarikta. Ghata is different from avidya. Vivaktatvat. Ghata is also separate from pata, etc. Gunitvacha, ghata possesses ghatatvam. Abhipesh tasmat, subhashya tasmat, sopi vikara bhavitum arhati. Therefore, akash also should be vikara, should all be a modification, an effect, a karya. Alright, now you see, as far as the Vaisheshikas are concerned, for them, these 9 entities are eternal, uncreated. What is it? The 5 elements, then Dikkala, the directions and time, and Mana, the mind, and Atma, the self. These are all different dravyas, they are all eternal. So it's alright. Suppose you can prove that Akash is product, but then how about other things? How about Manas? How about mind? How about Dik, Kala? So Digadishu, Vivicharam, Ashankya. So somebody may raise the Ashanka, the doubt that how about Dik? How about the quarters? How about Kala? How about the time? So they are not products. Ashanka, Paksha Samatvat, they also have this Paksha, the Dik, Kala, Manaha, all of these also contains Vivaktatvam. Therefore, Maivam, therefore they also are products. So Etena, so Bhashyakara says, Etena, Dik, Kala, Manah Paravanvadinam, Karyatvam, Vyakyatam. Etena, Dik, directions. Kala, time. Mana, mind. Paramanu means the 5 elements. All is also, because they enjoy Vivaktatvam, they are also characterized by separators. Therefore, they are also Karyam. Even though you say they are not created, by this Anumanam, it is established that they are all Karyam. You see, if mind was not a separator, you could not recognize it. You recognize mind as mind. And you recognize the earth as earth, water as water, fire as fire. If they did not stand apart, distinct from others, you could not recognize them. The fact that you can say that this is earth, this is water, this is fire, that means that each one of them is distinct from others. It's a space. And so, even this is time, this is direction. Therefore, all of them contain the attribute of being distinct from others. And therefore, there must be effects. So Vashyakara says, Etena means what? Vivaktatvena. Because Dik, Kala, Paramanu, Mana, all of them also are distinct entities. If they are not distinct entities, you could not have recognized them. The fact that you spotted them, hey, this is mind, hey, this is time, this is direction, that means they are all distinct entities. And then they possess the Paksha, they possess Hetu, Vivaktatvam. Therefore, all of them also are Vikara. Then says Ratna Prabha, Atmani Vivicharam Shankate. But Vivicharam is what? Atma also is a product. Because Atma also is separate from others. According to Atma also is Dravya. According to Vaisheshika, Atma also is substance, like other substances. So therefore the argument is made here. Nanu Atmapi Akashadibhyah Vivaktah Iti Tasyapi Karyatvam Ghatadivat Prapnoti. Nanu Atmapi. So according to them, Atma also is Dravya. Atma also is substance. Like space, etc. They are all Dravya. So this also is Dravya. So that also stands apart from others. Atma stands apart from mind. Atma stands apart from space, etc. So Atmapi Akashadibhyah Vivaktah. Atma also is Vivaktah, is separate or distinct from Akasha means space, etc. Other Paramanus. Iti tasyapi karyatvam ghatadivat prapnoti. So like Ghata is a karyam, Akasha also, because it stands apart from other substances, therefore Akasha also is karyam, is also a fact. So you want to prove, no, Atma is also karyam. So the Siddhanti wants to prove Akasha is karyam. In that Atma will be karyam also. If this is your criterion, Vivaktatvam, being separate from others is a hetu or the reason why you say that a given thing is karya or effect, then Atma also very much is separate or distinct from others, therefore that also will be karya. That will be your problem then. So Ratna Prabha says, now what is Vivaktatva? Now that you would understand. What is meant by being distinct or separate or divided? Dharmi saman sattaga vibhagasya hetutvat. So vibhaga, when can you say that two things are different from each other? When dharmi saman satta. When those two entities enjoy the same degree of reality, like pot is one, clock is one another one, cloth is another one, all of them enjoy the same degree of reality, that's called dharmi. Pot is dharmi, possessing dharma. Clock is a dharmi, possessing clockness. Cloth is dharmi, possessing clothness. And all of them enjoy the same degree of reality. Therefore you can say that they are distinct from each other. So vibhagasya hetutvat. Then only that vibhaga requires that they all should enjoy the same degree of reality. Paramarthatmani vibhagasya kalpitatvena. But Atmas are also many. According to Sankhya and Vaisheshika, everything, Atmas also are many. So if Atmas are many, that means then Atmas also vikara. Says Atmani vibhagasya kalpitatvena. The distinction that you see in Atma or self is not a real distinction, it is kalpitatvena, superimposed. Distinctions existing in the upadhis, the body-mind complex, is superimposed upon the Atma, and you conclude that Atma there are many. Just as there may be many parts, and so you may conclude that there are many part spaces where the manyness of the part is superimposed upon the space, and then you conclude that spaces are many. Similarly also, the manyness of the upadhi is superimposed upon the Atma, and then you come to conclusion that Atma also is divided from other Atmas and space, etc. Atmani vibhagasya kalpitatvena. Vibhaga, being distinct, is something superimposed upon Atma. Bhinna sattakatvat na vyavichara. So Atma enjoys Paramatic Satta, Akasha enjoys the Vyavaharika Satta, they do not have Samana Satta. Therefore, you cannot say that they are distinct from each other. The distinctions can be arrived at only if the entities enjoy the same degree of reality. Because Akasha enjoys Paramatic Satta, other entities enjoy the Vyavaharik Satta. Binna Sattagatvat no Vivichara. Therefore, into the Atma, that exception is not there. No, it is. The Bhashyakara says, Na Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha Iti Shrutehe. Says no, Vivichara is not there. Atmana Akasha Sambhuta is Shrutehe, because Shruti very clearly says that Atmana, from Atma, Akasha Sambhuta, the space was born from Atma. It's very clear. So Ratnaprabha says here, अत्र च अज्ञानम् अन्य द्रव्यत्व विशेषणम्. So that visheshana you must add here, which is what is found here. Avidya vyatiriktvatve sati or ajnana vyatiriktvatve sati. Being different from ajnana is visheshana, is the qualification you should add there. अतः न अज्ञान तत्संबंधादो व्यभिचारः. अतः अज्ञानದಲ್ಲಿ व्यभिचार न ज्ञानम and the संबंध of ज्ञानम, so that condition should be added. Then Rattamra continues, ननु आत्मा कार्यः विभक्तत्वात् वस्तुत्वाद् वा घटवति आभासतुल्यम् इदम् अनुमान विदाशंक्य. आत्मा कार्यः विभक्तत्वात् वस्तुत्वाद् वा, because Atma is different from other entities and Vastu is an entity. Ghatavat, like part is an entity and also is separate from other entities. Atma also is an entity and separate from other entities. Therefore, is also karyam, is also vikarya. Iti ashankya. So, iti abhasatulyam idam anumana. So this anumana is like abhasa. Iti ashankya atmana paramakaranattvena shrutasya karyatve shunyata prasanga yadi bhadaka sattvat tasya abhavatvam or abhasatvam actually. Atmana paramakaranattvena. See, Atma is presented by Shruti as the ultimate cause. So, according to Shruti, what is Atma? Atma is uncaused cause. It is cause of everything, where it itself is not an effect. So, in case of all other entities, there may be a cause, but it is an effect also. Like from the Prakriti, there is Mahat Tattva. From Mahat Tattva is Ahankara. So, Mahat Tattva is the cause of Ahankara, but effect of Prakriti. Ahankara is the cause, the five elements are effect. So then again, so each cause is found in effect also. Ultimately, where does this inquiry lead? It should lead into a cause which is not in effect. It's called Paramakaranatvam, the ultimate cause. So Shrutis present Brahman or Atma as the Paramakaranam, the ultimate cause. If that is not there, if Atma also is in effect, then what happens? There is no cause left, no Atma left. Bhashyakara will explain that. Shrutasya karyatve shunyata prasanga haiti. See, Atma which is presented by Shruti as Paramakaranam, if that also is in effect, then there is no cause left there, shunyata prasanga. There will be this situation that there is shunyata. or the non-existence, nihilism they call it, you see. Iti bhadaka sattva. So this anumanam is a bhadaka. See, anumanam should not have bhadaka, means should not have something that negates it or contradicts it. But here, if you arrive at anumanam, establishing or proving that Atma is an effect, then what happens? Atma being paramakaranam, then it will result into your contention that Atma is a karyam, will leave no karanam at all. Then there is shunyata prasanga. So that shunyata is not acceptable. Therefore, your anumanam is bhadakam. Anumana is in fact, he is possessed of what we call a bhadaka, means something that is contradicts, something that negates. It will negate what the Shruti says. Therefore, avasatvam, that anumana has avasatvam. Natra kinchit bhadagamasti. Whereas, atra means if akasha karyatva, if akasha is karyam, no bhadakam is there. If atma is karyam, bhadakam is there, then there will be shunyata prasanga. If akasha is karyam, then it does not contradict anything. Natra kinchit bhadagamasti pratyuta akashasya akaryatva. On the other hand, if you say that akasha is not created, then what will happen? Nitya aneka dravya kalpana shauta pratignya hanyadayo bhadakaha santi. Then akasha will be nitya, which is not acceptable to Shruti. Aneka dravya kalpana, there will be many independent substances. That also is not right, because an eka vijnana, sarva vijnana is not possible. Shrauta pratignya hani. Eka vijnana, sarva vijnana, the pratignya also will be affected. So many bhadakaha santi. Anumanam that proves non-creation of space, asambhavat, that has so many bhadakas, so many contradicting or negating factors. Iti na avasa. Therefore, our anumanam, which establishes the akasha being the karya, does not have any factors which negate that anumanam. Whereas your anumanam, which wants to assume atma as karyam, has factors which negate that. Therefore, your anumanam is avasatulyam, is only like an anumanam, not a real anumanam. Atmana. So, that's what Bhashyakara said. That we already atmana, akaya sambhuta hai vishvate. Then Father Bhashyakara further says, Yadihi atmapi vikarasyat tasmat param anyata nashrutam iti akashadi sarvam karyam niratmakam atmanah karyatve syat tatha ca शून्यवादः प्रसज्येत. यदि आत्मा भी विकार स्यात्, if according to what you say, atma also is a vikara, is a modification, is an effect, then tasmat param anyat na shrutam purusha na param kinchit sa kashtha sa paragati. So Karyakarana parampara goes Mahatah param avyaktam avyaktat parah paratah purusha purushanna param kinchit. Therefore, Shruti clearly says that Atma is the ultimate entity. Sa kashtha sa paragati, sa parakashta sa paragati. And so, tasmat param anyat nashrutam yo buddhe paratastu saha. Evam buddhe param buddhva. So what is beyond buddhi is param, is ultimate. So we do not find in the Shruti anything that is greater than more pervasive than, more ultimate than Atma. Atma is the irreducible substratum. Atma is the ultimate reality. There is no reality beyond Atma. It is the reality of everything. Now, iti, so Akashadi sarvam karyam niratmakatva atmana karyatve. If Atma also is accepted as karya, then no karana is left. If there was something beyond Atma, other than Atma mentioned, then we may say that Atma has its own if karana also. But Shruti does not mention anything beyond Atma. If Atma also is not there created, then what is there? So both Atma is created, that means that a condition must exist where Atma is not created. If part is created, there was a condition when the part was not. That's called pragabhava. Similarly, if Atma also is created, there was a condition Atma was, then what was there? Shunya. So the niratmakatvat, in that case, nobody has any substance. That means that Atma is created from Shunya and everything is created from Shunya. So, Akashadi Saram Karyam Niratmakam. All the Akasha and everything else will have no Atma at all of them will have Shunya, void or non-existence as Atma. Tathaja Shunyavada Prasajjeta. In that case, there will be prasanga or the condition of Shunyavada, nihilism. That means that the world is devoid of any substance. World is devoid of any reality. There will be no substance in life, no reality in life. And that cannot be, therefore your anumanam, which wants to establish that Atma is karya, will have this badhakam, this problem. Therefore, anumanam is abhasa. You can present anumanam all right. Anumanam should not contradict what other means of knowledge tell us. And so it's good that anumanam is only avasa. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.